Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another episode of In Depth with David. This is NBA Finals recap number 5. We will be recapping Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. And once again, to help me with this recap, I'm joined by my good friend Carter. Carter, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful, Davey. How are you doing?
Good. I had to bring out the new cut for the new recap. Got to change it up a bit.
Of course, gotta show it off. Gotta show off the fresh cut.
The Bucks changed up their game plan and it worked for them, so I changed up my hairstyle. And we'll see how it goes.
Oh, it's gonna work, Davey. You look smooth, Davey. You look smooth.
Appreciate it. So,
of course.
What a game. We apologize for not doing this last night like we usually do with following a schedule, but some things came up. But we're doing this still before Game 6 happens, and I mean, this was another solid game, honestly. I think we both talked about right before we went live that the first 3 games were kind of, somewhat lopsided, or at least you knew who was going to win. Game 4 really was the one that was really exciting, where it came down to the wire. And Game 5, I would even say it was better than Game 4, and it also came down to the wire.
Yeah, that ending. Really, I wish I did not fall asleep for the fourth quarter, so I could have felt the hype in the moment. But as soon as I woke up, I saw that text message from you, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch this." And I looked at the highlights, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that dunk. That was insane.
Crazy. So, yeah, we'll just start right at the beginning of the game. First quarter. I was getting ready to text you in the first quarter. I'm not going to lie. I was getting ready to text you in the first quarter that Suns were going to run away with it.
I thought they were too. It was, what was it? I think it was up to 17 at one point, the lead. And it was just, I was like, they have this. But I feel like we see that so much. The lead gets so large in the first, second quarter, but it just diminishes within one quarter. I don't know what it is. I don't know why the leads get cut so fast.
That happens a lot in sports in general. I would say more so the NBA too, you just said, where teams come out of the gate just red hot, and the other team is just kind of shell shocked by what the game plan is. So they get off to a slow start. But once you see how a team is playing for 12 minutes, you can kind of adjust to it. And I think obviously that's what happened with the Bucks. But I mean, whatever the Suns were doing for those first 12 minutes worked. And I mean, that just speaks to the craziness of sports or in the NBA in general, where what happened here was the Suns had as much as a 16-point lead, and the Bucks later in the game had a 14-point lead. So that's a 30-point swing. Yeah. And obviously the Bucks ended up winning and overcoming a huge early deficit, but you just can't really count anyone out, especially in the NBA Finals. These teams aren't just going to bow out like they might in a regular season game where there's 82 or this season 72 of them. You're going to see a lot more fight and a lot more determination to make adjustments.
Especially the Bucks. I feel like I'm getting more respect for them as the series goes on. I catch myself forgetting what they did to the Nets though. Even though Kyrie and I'd say James Harden was it was half of James Harden when he was playing for that series, but they still had KD and half of James Harden. That's still in the rest of their team, Blake Griffin, everybody else. And what they did to them, I mean, they can't they destroyed them. And I feel like the same thing is happening with the Suns right now. But I told myself that I wasn't going to switch up my prediction that the Suns were going to win this series, so I still think they're going to win. But the Bucks they're making me scared. They're making me scared.
Just want to say hello. Thank you for the support. Appreciate you being in the stream as well as the previous ones. Yeah, I mean, what the Bucks have done, and really what the Suns have done too, it's just been really special this postseason. We've talked about it in prior ones, but a lot of people picked the Heat to sweep the Bucks in the first round, which I thought was ridiculous because they're like, oh, look at what happened in the bubble last year. It's going to happen again. The Bucks destroy them. Easy.
Yeah.
Then
sweep.
Everyone thinks they're going to bow out in the second round, and I personally did too. I think the whole world really thought they were going to bow out to the Nets, but they pulled off in 7, including winning Game 7 on the road in Brooklyn when Kevin Durant had 50. And then Atlanta, I mean, I think everyone kind of predicted them to win that series, so wasn't too much of a surprise there. But no one, even the legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of the Bucks, said before the series, he's like, "I love the Bucks. I played for them. They have no chance of winning the series." So even one of their best players in franchise history didn't pick Milwaukee to have a chance in the series, and now they're one win away from winning it all.
I actually did not know that. That's some fuel for their fire. If I was them, I would have just been like, Are you kidding me? What? You're going to come to all our games and say we're not going to win? That. I feel like That was when I was watching. I think Quavo was on which I think was it. Oh, Kendrick Perkins and I think Stephen A. And he was said that same thing about the Hawks. He was like, they're like, oh, do you think the Hawks will win this series? And he was like, no, I don't think so. Like, have some faith. Have some faith in your team.
Support your team, but
yeah.
I guess I can respect the realism, but like I would never ever say, oh, I don't have faith. Like, go Yankees in a Red Sox Yankees playoff series. You'd never see me say that. So yeah, for sure. And then the other thing about this game that I thought was weird, and I'm probably making too much out of nothing, is did you see who the special guest was in attendance?
I saw a few. I saw. Well, I know who you're thinking of. I saw Adele. Oh, I already forgot the I saw, but LeBron James. I saw LeBron. We saw LeBron there.
This makes me so mad.
Yeah, he was sitting right across from the Bucks bench, wasn't he?
He was, and this is the team that eliminated him in the first round, and I get he's best friends. He's been best friends with Chris Paul since high school. And obviously he's going to root him on. You talked about it in a prior recap where he was tweeting out 3 games to go at Chris Paul, 2 games to go at Chris Paul. But have some pride. Like, your team just got not destroyed, but eliminated in 6 games, with the final game being on your home court in the first round by this Phoenix team. They all called you the B word on the team as you got eliminated. They had no respect for you, yet you turn around and you're going to their games and you're hyping up one of their better players, and you're like, yo, he's my boy. You guys eliminated me, but let's see you win the title. I mean, I just don't respect this part of the NBA, and I acknowledge it. The NBA is just different than it was in the 80s and 90s, where a lot of players are more friendly with each other, but I just don't like it at all. Have some pride. Like, if I'm a Lakers player and I see LeBron just showing up at a game of the Phoenix Suns, the team that just destroyed them in the first round, that wouldn't sit well with me. I don't care if LeBron is the law per se. Like I wouldn't like that, and I don't like that as a fan.
No, I can see where you're coming from. It's definitely, I get that. Like, this shows some pride. I feel like what I was reading some people say, they're saying he was just there just to promote his new role in Space Jam, which I would definitely see that. I could definitely see that. And just this one was kind of like a random thing. I don't really know what this really had to do with anything, like when they were talking about this, but he had like brought his own like tequila bottle or something. And like,
that's what I was going to say.
He was like partnered with the brand or something like that. So it was like almost like a double promotion at the same time. Like,
I respect I'm sure me and you can respect the hustle as 2 business students, but like, why? Just why? I don't get
it. He's everywhere. He needs the spotlight. I mean, he has the spotlight 24/7. I feel like the spotlight still isn't off of him, even though he hasn't been in the playoffs for like, it's been like a month. He's not even in the finals, and he's still in the spotlight 24/7. I feel like it just needs to happen. It just needs to happen.
Right. I mean, the NBA could just literally post a picture of LeBron, opening up a door for someone and like #LeBron, and then to get 1 million views. So obviously you want to market your best players, and the more present they are in certain key situations, the better for the league. But like, this is just overkill at this point. Like, just, we get it. I saw Space Jam, it is what it is. I'll maybe do another video recapping that if I feel like it. But
I'd
like,
like to see that.
The point is, like, LeBron, like, just stick to the Lakers. I don't know. I don't like to see the buddy stuff, and this is just me being like a Scrooge, if you will. But I get that's what the league's become. But that's just the end of my spiel.
No, I mean, I could definitely see where you're coming from. I definitely get your perspective, but I feel like, as you said, as some business students, I feel like LeBron knows that any motion he does, if he shows up to the games, making headlines everywhere. So, might as well do it. My movie just came out a couple days ago, HBO Max. Let me just, do this real quick. Oh, let me subtly place my own tequila bottle in here that no other player in that entire arena could bring alcohol in except LeBron James.
Right.
It's like pretty illegal to bring your own like beverage inside. But I mean, it's LeBron, so it's like he's the law. Like you said, he's just the law around there. It seems like
you can't say no to LeBron.
You can't. If you say no, I mean that's going viral too. Whatever happens, it's going viral.
It's like when the final season with Brady with the Patriots, we lost the Titans in the playoffs. And on the Titans, Brady used to be teammates with the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel. Did you see Tom Brady go in all the playoff games that the Titans had after he lost to them? No.
Nope.
Oh, wait, he was friends with Mike Vrabel. Who cares? Have some pride.
Yeah, I get that.
Although, wait, now that I think about it, he actually did like hang out with Mike Vrabel after the playoffs were over. So that's probably not a good point, but
we get where you go. Yeah, we get where you're coming from. So, what would you do if he if he goes all the way out to Milwaukee for Game 6?
I don't think LeBron will want to step foot in Milwaukee because
probably not.
You know, a lot of people are dissing the two cities, like saying this is a weak finals in terms of like, oh, no one wanted to go to Phoenix or Milwaukee. Both places are nice to an extent. I don't travel much, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have anything bad to say about the two cities.
No, I've heard good things about Phoenix. I haven't heard great things about Milwaukee, but I mean, I can't imagine they're bad cities.
Go Packers, cheeseheads.
Exactly.
So, yeah, going back to the first quarter, the Suns ended the first with a 16-point lead. They were leading 37-21 after 12 minutes. 8 of Jay Crowder's first 10 points were in this frame. That was just something a lot of people forgot about. He only ended up with 10 points in this game, but he was a big reason why the Suns sent the tempo early and got out to that huge lead.
Yeah, I feel like him along with Devin Booker, and I feel like when they benched Devin Booker, I think it was around like the second quarter. That's when like the Bucks started making like a motion to come back. Like they just kept kicking. I'm pretty sure it took out. I wish I watched the game again. So thinking about my memory from like 2 days ago, but I'm pretty sure they took out DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker because Giannis was out of the game, and that's when the Bucks started making their lead back. Which I feel like I can see where they're coming from by taking like Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton out at the same that. Like I feel like that's just allowed the Bucks to just work their way back in there for the second quarter.
So also another note about that first quarter is Phoenix shot 14 of 19. So that was definitely a big reason as to why they got out to a big lead. But the second quarter was all Milwaukee, and Milwaukee outscored the Suns 43-24 in the second quarter. They shot 17 of 24 and 6 of 9 from 3. Just made it fantastic shooting. And that's really been one of the kryptonites in Milwaukee because you've had bad shooting nights from Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, but that was not the case in this game. And the fact that they were able to make shots and Devin Booker only made 1 field goal in this period, big reason why they were able to run the tables.
Yeah, the what's it called? The Bucks. When Chris Middleton, when he just misses those shots, like I feel like he still takes a lot of shots, but I feel like he doesn't take as many bad shots as he was before. Like I feel like kind of like the deeper into this series, like each playoff series, like Chris Middleton just like unlocks these abilities. I swear, like he just gets better and better throughout each game. And he had some great shooting last night, 12 of 23 from field goal and 3 of 8 for 3. I mean, you could have asked for more from 3, but I mean, they got the win, so it doesn't really matter too much. But Drew Holiday, he stepped up big time, I feel like, on the offensive end with 27 points and 12 for 20 for shooting, 3 for 6 for 3. Like you're getting a lot out of him, and especially his assists too. I'm pretty sure he had a lot. Yeah, like 13 assists. 13,
yep.
Insane.
Yeah, that was a big reason why that they were able to turn the tables in the second quarter because he had 14 second quarter points. And after shooting 23 of 69 or 33% from the field in the first 4 games, Drew Holiday shot 12 for 20 in game 4, had 13 or game 5, had 13 assists, as you said. So he was able to make things better for himself for sure. And we talked about in game 4 how the Bucks were pretty lucky to escape that game with a win in the sense that Giannis and Chris Middleton had to do most of the work with some contributions from Connaughton, and Drew Holiday, he shot for 4 for 20, just awful game from him. But the fact that he was able to be more efficient in game 5 was a big reason why they were able to really keep the lead for most of the game after the first quarter.
Oh yeah, and then Drew Holiday not scoring allowed for like PJ Tucker to not have to feel like he has to play like that much offense and like score and just be good on the defensive end. Like I feel like the entire team they just all played so well. Like I didn't know like this team could get better and better each time. Like their big 3, I didn't think of as a big 3 at all. Like going into this series, I looked at like an S tier player, and then just like a couple of like a B plus tier player, then like a B player. But now they're looking like D Wade, Bosch, and LeBron out there.
Their defensive lineup is amazing, as you just said, with Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker, Brook Lopez, and Giannis. Like, the whole reason why they traded Eric Bledsoe for Drew Holiday was not only for his offensive capabilities, but you can match up so better defensively with that first five instead of having Bledsoe in that mix. So that was a huge trade for them in the offseason, too. I mean, they gave up 3 first-round picks, which is a hefty price to pay, and they just did give him a max contract, but he earned every penny of that contract in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, it was definitely well worth 3 first-rounders making it to the finals for the first time since 1971.
And people overvalue first-rounders so much in the NBA because the Bucks first-rounders are going to be at the end of the first round because of how good they are. So they're not really worth much. They're almost like second-rounders.
Yeah, basically like 30th picks, like 29th, 28th picks. Like, it's going to be nothing too crazy. The best they'll probably get. There's no lottery picks in there, though. There's going to be no lottery picks. It's just you'll get maybe a good role player. That's it. I mean, that's worth a finals game, I'd say. Like 3 role players for a finals game. Or, sorry, a finals appearance. Maybe even a win. Sounds like a good trade to me.
Absolutely. And the Bucks are 7-1 in this playoffs when Drew Holiday scores at least 20 points. And he ended with 27, as you said. And they're 8-6 when he doesn't score at least 20 points. So you can just tell how much better they are when really everyone in their big 3 is clicking. So, and as I said, Booker only made 1 shot in that second quarter. But that's not to say Booker, again, had an amazing game, put together another 40-point performance. The Bucks threw not only PJ Tucker and Drew Holiday, but also Chris Middleton on him. And he was just hitting some crazy shots. And a few of them came easy to him. But as I just said, like a lot of them were in close defense with like hands in the face, fadeaways. I mean, he's just really doing everything he can to put the Suns team on his back in the series. And he's put up, I think, 82 points combined in these last couple of games, or over 80 points, and in 2 losses. That's the first time in NBA history where a player has scored 40 points in back-to-back games and their team has lost both games. So just heartbreaking for him.
Giannis had 2 back-to-back 40-point games, but he won one of them. Or did he win both of them, actually? I think he lost the first one, then won the next one.
Yep, because, so game 2 was the loss, and then game 3 was the win.
But yeah, Devin Booker he's playing up to everyone. Everyone's saying, comparing him to Kobe. I mean, he's playing up to Kobe level, but
minus game 3.
Yeah, minus game 3, of course. But actually, I heard that, like watching just some like NBA podcasts, I heard that he was having like some like hamstring troubles like during game 2. That's why they sat him out in the fourth quarter, which was that's why like their coach sat him out in the fourth quarter, which is interesting. Like, I mean, it makes sense to me, but I don't know how good the source was. It was like something Stephen A said, so I don't know how much I can give a good source of that,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I see back in like February or July, it seems like he had some hamstring injuries. Maybe the Suns are just keeping it under wraps. But yeah, like in a situation like that, when the game is so out of reach, you definitely want to rest your players, especially Booker and Chris Paul, 2 people who are dealing with nagging injuries. But are you ready to come around with me and say that Booker is definitely the MVP if the Suns win this series?
Yeah, after seeing Chris Paul, Man, I mean, Chris Paul, he didn't play bad last night, but they just need him to play better. Like, he just needs to play better than what he did not last night, 2 nights ago. He just needs to play better. Like, he just needs to play like Chris Paul. Like, what's happening? I feel like he's just buckling, as Brian would say. He's just buckling.
His stat line, 9 for 15 from the floor, 3 for 3 from 3, 21 points, 11 assists, 2 rebounds. Better than game 4, for sure. Absolutely. I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive, as weird as that sounds. I think he needs to take a little bit of a load off of Booker and find more of his shots.
Maybe less aggressive in the fourth quarter, though, instead of fouling Giannis, who's already both hands in the rim with the dunk.
We'll get into that for sure. The big thing is he was a -6, which obviously for plays like that, you deserve to be a minus in the score chart. And You look at someone like Booker, who's a plus 12, Ayton, a plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
Ayton was another one who had a rebound game. I've been talking about how I think the Suns should give him more opportunities, and I think the Suns are obviously listening to this podcast. Monty Williams, Chris Paul. Shout out to you guys for viewing this podcast in depth with David. If you're viewing this right now, too, you should hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Just a cheeky little plug. But
There we go.
I'm glad they gave him more shots. He played almost the whole game, 45 minutes. Ayton did 7 for 12 from the field, 6 for 6 from free throws, had 20 points and 10 rebounds. So, I mean, this is going back to what they should have done. Games 1 and games 2, or really games 1 through 3, he was really effective. And then in game 5, he had another good game too. So I'm glad to see the Suns giving him more opportunities, because I think if Giannis is on him, it's going to be tough for him to score, but he can still do it, as we've seen in these games. But if someone like Brook Lopez is going to be on him, he can take them to town. So,
yeah, I feel like they really need Ayton on the defensive end too. I like him, when he's not in the paint, I just feel like Giannis can just waltz right in there, just get any dunk he wants. Brook Lopez, just anybody can just enter the paint. I feel like that's why they had DeAndre Ayton, I'm going to guess, play 45 minutes last night. Like 3 minutes off. What's it? 48 minutes is like the maximum amount of minutes you can even play it in an NBA game. He played 48. Oh, not including overtime, but he played 45 minutes. Like that's a lot of time. I feel like he's still one of their like youngest talents on the team too. So it's good they're giving him more time, but I hope they don't give him too much time, because if he got hurt, that's it. The series is over tomorrow. Tomorrow.
They have no center depth at all, because obviously Dario Saric went out with an injury in the first game, and then Frank Kaminsky, I mean, he's not going to, no disrespect to him, he's a Wisconsin legend in college basketball, but he's not going to be able to do anything. I mean, Giannis is going to destroy him. He's going to put up 50 like NBA Jam.
Exactly. He's just going to dunk on him. There's going to be so many of these alley-oops.
As crazy as it is, though, I think I'm looking at the stats. Booker took 33 shots and he missed 16 of them. That's pretty bad. He put up 40 points, but one of the biggest what ifs for the Suns for me, if I'm in that locker room, should be maybe give like 5 to 10 of those shots to Ayton or Ayton Paul.
Or even Cameron Johnson. He played pretty, he was minus 19. He played 22 minutes, but he was 2 for 3 and 2 for 3 for field goal range and 2 for 2 for 3-point range. I mean, I feel like there was a lot of times where he was open. Like, I feel like Devin Booker could have just, obviously Devin Booker, he's cooking. He's gonna score, but some of those shots I feel like he could have, knocked out maybe to Cameron Johnson, maybe 1 or 2 to Cameron Payne. He played 22 minutes. I feel like he's just kind of running up and down the court. But when he did score, he made it. He only missed 1 shot. So,
do you think it's fair to say that the Suns are relying too much on their starting 5 and not trusting their depth enough? Because you look at the Suns starting 5 minutes, the least amount of minutes was Mikal Bridges at 33. And you only have people, you're running an 8-man rotation with your 3 bench guys. Torrey Craig, 9 minutes. Cameron Johnson, 22 minutes. Cameron Payne, 15 minutes. I think you got to rely on your bench players more, because I think Cameron Payne really showed out at the beginning of the series. Cameron Johnson, too. I think, you don't want to take away minutes from like other players, but, do you really need to give Jay Crowder 40 minutes a game? I don't think so.
No,
maybe 30.
Yeah, because you see how the Bucks did. They give PJ Tucker 24 minutes, Brook Lopez 29 minutes, and those are like some pivotal players on their team, and they're splitting up the minutes well. Then 33 minutes to Pat Connaughton. Like, I feel like they don't always like give like Pat Connaughton's not going to get 33 minutes every single night, but I feel like they do a good job of just like picking certain guys to get maybe like 10 more minutes than they usually do, or like 20 more minutes than they usually do. Where the Suns, the starting 5, like you were saying, like I feel like the starting 5, I've seen at least 3 to 4 of the guys with 40 plus minutes almost every single game this series.
And I think you have to go deeper into the rotation a bit. Kaminsky, I think he had 14 points in game 2. So
yeah, he was playing well.
Why not just give him 10 to 15 minutes too?
Yeah.
Give Torrey Craig 15 minutes. There's ways to work around it, because you don't want to gas Ayton. Like, I get Ayton's 21, 22, very young player, so he can do playing the whole game. Same with Booker. But
yeah,
I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 18, 48, 68, 98, 48 minutes in an NBA game, or 40 doing back-to-back games of 40 plus minutes, or going a whole series playing 40 minutes in an NBA game or NBA playoff series, it's going to take a toll on you.
Yeah, you're gonna
Sorry, that was a
do some
mouthful.
stretches.
I made that so much harder than it
No,
should
you're
have
good.
been.
You're good.
That's my MO sometimes.
But no, definitely, that's gonna take some stretching beforehand, before and after the game. That's 48 minutes. I can barely even play basketball. I can barely shoot around for 20 minutes without winning myself out. Imagine doing sprints up and down the court 24/7, trying to guard someone that's 6'10" the entire game, like 7 feet tall. It takes a toll, like you were saying. That's a lot. That's a lot of energy that takes out of someone, and especially, I mean, Devin Booker. Do you think? I mean, this might just be just me speculating about random things, but do you think Devin Booker is gonna feel the pressure of having to go to the Olympics in these next games? Like, feel the pressure of oh, I have to go to the Olympics literally right after this. Do you think that's gonna make him play worse, or do you think he's just gonna keep playing like he has been playing the last 2 games for the rest of the series?
I think he's just going to keep his eye on the prize, which is just trying to win a championship. He's already said that the distraction of committing to the U.S. Olympics hasn't really affected him too much.
Oh, really?
And I think it's just more so one of those things where he's just got it first to 4. Let's do this. Let's lock in. I think it's going to be very tough on him for sure, where at this point, I mean, this is really worst case scenario for Devin Booker, like we talked about, I think in the first podcast, where if he wants to win the NBA Finals, there's only going to be 3 days for him to win the NBA Finals and go straight to Tokyo. Because the finals end July 22nd, and the first game for the Olympics is July 25th. So this is really worst case scenario for him in terms of everything. He's going to have to play his heart out to win the title for Phoenix. And then he's going to get no rest, and then he's going to have to get straight into game mode again, playing for the Olympic team, trying to win a medal.
Yeah, he's probably going to be starting too, right, on that team?
I would hope so.
Probably, yeah, I'm trying to. They just added JaVale McGee and someone from
Keldon Johnson.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're getting JaVale McGee and Calvin Johnson, those are that team's kind of slipping a little bit. I'm not going to knock those players; they're obviously pretty solid players. But we know JaVale McGee. We know his history in the NBA. I mean, if you're calling for him for help. Yeah, exactly. If you're calling for him for help, I mean, you might as well go call Dwight Howard or something at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he fit the system well with the Warriors for sure, and the Lakers. It's still weird to me that JaVale McGee has as many rings as Curry.
Yeah. Oh, wait, he does?
Three championships, 2 with the Warriors, 1 with the Lakers.
Oh.
So he's kind of revitalized his career in a way. He used to be the laughing stock of the NBA. Now he's really laughing at most NBA players, since a good percentage of the league don't have 3 rings right now.
Yeah, 3 rings. I actually did not realize that. Okay, maybe I'll change my opinion about him just a little bit. Because 3 rings, I mean, even if you didn't do most of the work, I mean, you still got 3 rings. I mean, you're still on the team. He was probably starting for most of it. I'm pretty sure for the Warriors he was starting, right?
I don't get. I mean, I know we don't want to spend too much time talking about the Olympic team here, but I don't get, if you're Greg Popovich, Zion Williamson and Julius Randle wanted to be on the team, but oh no, let's go get JaVale McGee. That doesn't make any sense to me. But it's all about system fits. But Zion would have fit the system. I mean,
exactly. Zion, he would have fit. Yeah, he would have fit right in, I feel like, and he would have done amazing. I feel like just all that built up, just I should have made the playoffs, just ready, just that hunger basically to win. I mean, let him into the Olympics. They'll probably win all these exhibition matches.
And keep in mind, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton also committed to the Olympic team too.
Oh yeah. So Devin Booker will probably start.
Part of me thinks secretly these players are I don't care if we win or lose. I just hope the series is done quickly so I can get a little rest before the Olympics. And now they're all secretly probably mad that the series is going to go 6 or 7, and they're going to have 3 to 5 days to get their mind ready for Tokyo.
Oh, but yeah.
That's going to be tough. I mean, they've all played a ton of basketball in the last year or so.
Yeah, they've had no break whatsoever. It's been just nonstop basketball. And then Olympic level basketball, it's nothing. It's it's hard work. It's basically like the NBA. I mean, most players on the other Olympic teams, well, not most, I shouldn't say. Like a good portion of them, like they're all in the NBA, and you got Luka playing in there. Like you got to be careful. Luka could get a gold medal. Like if you're not careful, the U.S. team isn't careful.
It's not a cakewalk like it was in 2012, 2016,
2008 too.
2008. Yeah, we'll see how they do, but that's an interesting thing to think about because I think Booker, he's got his eyes on the prize, and I think the only thing he's worried about right now is the NBA Finals. But he'd probably be lying if he told you that he wasn't thinking about the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be in the back of his mind too. Same with Middleton and Drew.
Oh yeah, all of them. I wonder why Giannis didn't commit. Do you think Giannis knew that he was going to make it to the finals, and he's like, nah?
Did he commit to Greece? I don't see.
Oh yeah, I forgot he wouldn't play for the U.S. team. Yeah, actually, let's see.
Gonna do a quick Google search.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay, so Greece must qualify. He said he's hoping to play. I don't know. Did Greece qualify for the Olympics? I'm not well versed in this stuff. Did Greece qualify qualify for 2021 basketball?
Let's see. I think they might have.
Because it says if they qualified, he'll definitely play. And their season starts, like if they qualified, I just looked it up. It said that Greece would start playing 2 days after the NBA Finals Game 7. So talk about no turnaround.
Yeah, that's wow. that's no breaks. That's all gas, no breaks right there.
And that's usually how it is when it's an Olympic year, because I remember in 2008, right after Kobe lost to the Celtics in the finals, he went to play for the Olympic team just 10 days after the season ended. So it usually does start right after the NBA Finals are done. But this season, or in this instance, it's just really different because of the bubble and playing practically 2 seasons in 1 year and then going on to play in the Olympics. Like, God bless the players, honestly.
Yeah, they need a vacation. I mean, one thing you could agree with of what LeBron said on Twitter. I think it was a few weeks ago when he was talking about like the players' health. Like he's saying like talking about how the NBA should prioritize like their players' health more. Sorry, but how do you think they should do that? Like, do you think they should just like how? I think I've asked you this question actually before, but how would you like allow the players to get more rest?
I think you just got to shorten the seasons. Personally,
so 82 games is a lot. But I mean, at baseball, like they have in the hundreds,
162.
Yeah, they have. I
love
lot
it,
of games.
But it's a turnoff for fans because who's going to turn into a team to watch every single game from April to September? Exactly. Every single day you play. It's not like the NBA where there's 1-2 days off in between. So I think they kind of solved something with the pandemic in the sense that you shorten the regular season to 72 games, and then you have the playing games be like games 73 through 75 of the regular season. So I think 82 games is a lot. I hate the idea of load management. I know that might be like a touchy subject, having players sit out, but I just think it's kind of disrespectful to the sport to have, players be sitting out when they're perfectly healthy just for rest. Like it's a perfectly different situation if you're dealing with a hamstring injury or whatever, but if you can play, you can play. And that's what LeBron said, and I respect him for that opinion. Back when the whole load management thing was a bit of a controversy started by Kawhi. So.
Yeah, I was going to say Kawhi carried that movement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with that, but I think 72 games is reasonable, and sure, it's all about money. Like the NBA is going to take a bit of a dip with that, but they are certainly. Adam Silver will never come out and say he was wrong because I don't know. He's probably just cocky as a commissioner or whatever, and people in power don't like to admit they're wrong. But he made a mistake starting the season so early again. We loved it as NBA fans having so much basketball without much of a break because there was only like 67 days between the end of the NBA Finals, between the Heat and the Lakers at the beginning of the season. But very bad for the players.
Yeah, and so it's a good. I feel like that's like a good thing about social media too. You get a look inside like the players' lives, and they get to like voice their opinions. Like we're tired. Like we've been playing for like way too long. Like these seasons have been going for way too long. Like I feel like it's really good that like players can. I don't know what's been going on like recently. Why players are like more and more coming out of like speaking out about it. Like I don't know if they weren't like allowed to before. Like I feel like nobody's really talked about it publicly. Like
It's
about
a players' league.
Yeah, I feel like it's just slowly turned into a players' league. Like that's a perfect word to describe it. And it's crazy because like now it's like, do they even need a coach? I mean, if you got LeBron on your team, what's the coach doing? I mean, if you got like, I feel like that's the only person I can actually think of. Like LeBron's definitely coaching his team. Like what's the coach of the Lakers? Like you know what I mean? It's like should player coaches be a thing?
I mean, perfect quote to sum it up is when the Nets hired Steve Nash and they asked Kyrie Irving what he thought about it, and he's like, "I don't look at it as we have a coach on the team." There
He
you have
actually
it.
said that.
He
Okay,
did.
yeah. Wow, yeah. Oh, poor Steve Nash. Poor guy just probably walked up in there and then just no one listens to him.
But if I were to fix the NBA and solve the injury problem, I'd do one more season where we start in December. So this is going to, I mean, this will never, ever happen because Adam Silver would literally or not Adam Silver, just the whole NBA in general would hate this. They'd lose so much revenue. But end of the finals of this season, you take a 5-month break. You start the new season on Christmas Day, like they've done in the past. You go until like April or whatever. You end the NBA finals in early June. And then you get back to the regular timeline of NBA seasons pre-COVID. So this is a way of saying to the players, we appreciate you playing so much basketball in such a short time. Here's your 5-month vacation. There's no reason why there should be many more injuries next season as there was this past season. Enjoy this nice long break, nice long hiatus. And then you can get back to the regular timeline after next season. That's how I would fix it. But that'll never happen because they'd lose so much money.
Yeah, in a perfect world that would happen. But unfortunately, I feel like the NBA just makes a ton of money during the holiday season. Like it's just like around Thanksgiving time, like those things, they must make so much money around Thanksgiving. And I mean, like they would get Christmas. I mean, obviously they'd get some of Christmas, but I mean, November, they need all the holidays. They need the best they can do right now. Oh, hello there, Sussy Wood. Oh no.
Alrighty. So, I mean, no, that's an excellent point. They make so much money during the holidays, and the NBA was really scrambling to make back some revenue lost from COVID this season because it was unlikely they were going to have an all-star game, but they had an all-star game, and they really put it together like 4 weeks before it was going to happen. I mean, everyone knows the only reason they did that was because of money. And then you have the play-in tournament because you had to shorten the NBA season to 72 games. You had the play-in tournament to add 3 to 4 more regular season games. That's more revenue because they're going to be nationally televised. So
I did like the play-in tournament, though. I'll be honest.
Excellent idea.
Yeah, I'm glad they have it next year, right? They
agreed on
it again. Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. And it's just, I don't know, I felt like a little NCAA tournament, like a little March Madness tournament inside the playoffs, which was so cool. Seeing like John Morant too, like just go off and it was so cool to see. I wish the Hornets would have made the playoffs, but that's okay. Maybe next year. LaMelo Ball, it's a topic for maybe next year. But no, the play-in tournament, great idea. Definitely. I don't know how much revenue it's pulled them. I wish I could see the numbers. But I would say probably a lot.
It definitely helped out a bit. I mean, the NBA took a huge loss this year, obviously, with pretty much the first half of the whole season for all stadiums not being allowed to have fans, or most stadiums. So, huge dip in revenue for the NBA, but it's a good idea to have the play-in tournament, all the games being nationally televised. Definitely can't hurt the wallets at all. Same with the All-Star game. So, yeah, I think, NBA makes a lot of moves that are just designed to generate more money, but they're not in as bad of a spot as they thought they were, as Adam Silver said, because the vaccine obviously came and pretty much every stadium is at full capacity now, which is great to see. And, maybe I'll make it out to a Celtics game next year, but I don't trust some of you people.
It'd be nice to go to the Garden. I feel like I haven't been there. It's been so long. I think the last Celtics game I went to was Celtics against the Knicks when Derrick Rose first got traded to the Knicks, and I went there wearing my Bulls Derrick Rose jersey, and I got a lot of stares. Definitely was bold of me to wear that as a 15-year-old with this Derrick Rose jersey on in the middle of this TD Garden.
So we'll just get back to the game and talk about the second half a bit. So in the third, Milwaukee built a double-digit lead. as I said earlier, they led by as much as 14 after trailing by 16, so a 30-point swing. That was really all that happened in the third quarter. Drew Holiday continued to dominate. Then we'll just get into the craziness of the final 5 minutes of this game because this game, in terms of entertainment factor, this one in Game 4 and Game 5 at the very end, some of the best endings or some of the craziest endings these last two games I've seen in NBA Finals history.
Yeah, that was that. I don't even know how to describe that. When I saw that highlight, I got the goosebumps. I was like, wow, he just. And then the Chris Paul fouling him, I was like, why, Chris Paul? Why? That's just sloppy play. It was like, why did you foul him?
So before that, the Suns made it a 5-point game. Just over 2 minutes left, and Chris Middleton hits a huge three with just over 2 minutes remaining, so it makes it an 8-point game, and Milwaukee has a little bit more breathing room. Again, this just speaks to that Chris Middleton cycle of sometimes he's like Michael Jordan, and sometimes he's just average, sometimes he's in the middle, but he's showing out for the most part in this series. He's taking a lot of shots, and he's missing probably more than he'd like, but I mean, 12 of 23. 12 of 23 in this game, 29 points, 3 for 8 from 3. That's great numbers for your number 2 option.
Some really good numbers right there. Those are. I don't know how much. I just never know what to expect from Chris Middleton. I never know what to expect. I feel like he's gonna have a Game 1, Game 2 performance, and then he comes out, like you said, like Michael Jordan all of a sudden.
He's such a scary player, too, because when he's doing well and he's going to have a good night, you want him to keep shooting it. But when it seems like he's doing bad, every time he shoots, you're like, no, pass it to Giannis, pass it to Drew.
And he still shoots it, too. When he's doing bad, I don't know why he doesn't just stop shooting. He just keeps going. He's like, maybe I'll turn to Michael Jordan for a second. I feel like he doesn't even know. He has no idea if he's having a bad game or not.
I mean, with his stat lines too, you can definitely tell he tries to shoot himself out of slumps. I think he shot 15 of 33 in one of the games. That's terrible. I think they won. I think that was actually Game 4 he did that. But it's very, very rare in the NBA where you can shoot yourself out of a slump and still win.
Yeah, only Steph Curry can do that.
Right.
It's only Curry that can do that.
So I thought that was the dagger when Chris Middleton hit that shot because they're up 8 with 2 points left, or 2 points left, 2 minutes left. And, you're just thinking they're going to close it out. But the Suns kept climbing back into this game. They went on a 12-3 run, and a Giannis missed free throw turned into a bucket in transition and by the Suns and for Chris Paul, and it made it a 1-point game with under a minute left. And do you want to go into detail? I know you've talked about this play a couple times already, but just take us through what happened with that Drew Holiday, Giannis lob, and everything that happened before that.
So when I saw the Suns were only down 1, I was like, oh, the Suns are coming back. This is it. They're gonna come back. They have to. How can they not? And then all of a sudden, we see that ball. We see that lob. I see that lob go up. I see Chris Paul. Turn around. I'm like, oh no, don't do it, Chris Paul. And he just fouls him when he's already in air. Both hands basically above the basket. Why would you even? I mean, I could see why he would risk fouling him because obviously Giannis it's a good chance he's going to miss at least one of those free throws. But I just don't know. I just don't know what was going through his head. I feel like if he was a younger player, I would probably I could understand that. But I mean, he's got his stripes in the game. He should know what's going to happen. He's seen that happen so many times before. I don't know what's going through his head. I really don't.
And before that, Drew Holiday stripped Devin Booker the ball. Booker was looking to give them the lead. The Suns had a chance to take the lead. And this is the same exact situation as Game 4. It's crazy that this is how it turned out because the Suns had the ball with a chance to take the lead late in the game in both Games 4 and Games 5. And they failed in both attempts. And if they converted in both attempts, this series might be over already. It could be 4-1 Bucks like we were talking about, or 4-1 Suns like we were talking about. Yeah. And now it's 3-2 Milwaukee.
Yeah, I did not expect this. I'll be honest. I did not expect the series to be like this right now. But I don't know. I hate to switch up my prediction because we were happy on the Suns. We were very heavy on the Suns winning the series. I feel like everybody was though, but like it's seeing the Bucks just like come back like this. It's so hard to not root for them. Like it's really hard. It's they're just such like a underdog team, and like you want to root for the underdog team, obviously. Like I was rooting for the Hawks the entire playoffs. Like I wanted the Hawks to beat the Bucks, but I know damn well they weren't gonna. But now that the Bucks are just like doing this, it's almost like me. That's got me thinking like, the Bucks with a ring doesn't sound too bad. Like that sounds pretty cool, honestly. I'd love to see that. Like as an NBA fan, honestly.
I would too, honestly. I'm happy for Giannis. He's done a lot in his career. He's been through a lot in his life, and just been to get to this point. Run a $250 million contract, and just work your butt off. I mean,
exactly.
You can't hate Giannis. He's very likable. So,
sorry, I was going to ask this
question. No, you go.
I saw this meme. Skip Bayless posted this meme on like YouTube for some reason. It was he was like cap or no cap, and like the picture was like it was so cringy, and like the picture was like is Giannis the best if he wins the ring this year? Would Giannis be considered the best like European player in the NBA or like of all time from the NBA?
I mean, maybe, but you got to think about Dirk Nowitzki.
I know, but I mean, like just like Giannis, like I don't know, Dirk. I think they'd be pretty close. It'd be 1 and 2 between Dirk and Giannis. I think Giannis would do just a little more in his career beforehand, but you can't. Dirk is just
his run of the finals when he beat the Heat in 2011. His run of the finals was crazy. He took down Kobe, Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and Harden, and then the Heat big three all in one playoff run.
That's
all by himself. He was the only All-Star on the Mavs.
So he is. Yeah, no, I could definitely say he is. Definitely 1, but Giannis would definitely be a solid 2. He would definitely be a solid 2, but he could pass Dirk. I mean, I don't think it would take another ring. I feel like honestly, like just if he just keeps doing him for the rest of his career, keeps getting these All-Star appearances, keep getting these like maybe getting another MVP. Like I feel like he could definitely surpass Dirk.
Tony Parker's up there too. I don't know if you know him, the Spurs point guard.
Of course, yes.
4 champion. A lot of people forget he has 4 championships and he won a Finals MVP.
I actually kind of forgot he won the Finals MVP.
Me too.
Remember 2K17. 2K17, he had like a diamond card that was nasty on my team.
So he's another good one.
Giannis is the worst player on the Bucks. Wow, that's a hot take.
I'm going to disagree, but hey, you have your opinion. You know, I think he might be trying to troll, but I appreciate it. I appreciate a troll.
Who's the best player then on the Bucks?
Best player, right? That's a good question.
Let's hear it.
And why is it Jeff Teague, Zaleo?
Why is it Jeff Teague?
So yeah, just going back to that play quickly. Drew Holiday stripped Booker, and he lobbed it to Giannis, as you said. I was just screaming no the whole time this play was happening for both the Bucks' sake and the Suns' sake. And let me explain the Bucks.
For the Bucks' sake, wait, hold on. Yeah, explain that.
Yeah. Let me explain this. Drew Holiday, all he had to do was just dribble out the clock. There was 20 seconds left or 17 seconds left. All he had to do was dribble, run around, and just wait to get fouled. Why the heck was he trying to risk it with the lob? If Giannis doesn't grab it, that goes out of bounds, and then the Suns ball.
Okay, I didn't really think about it like that. But he really could have just dribbled up the clock, and then I mean he's pretty trustworthy to make free throws too. I mean, or at least a little more trustworthy than Giannis. So that was definitely really risky. But I think he probably just felt the heat of the moment. He was like, "Oh, absolutely, we're doing this. This is happening right here. It's like what was it 2-on-1 Chris or 2-on-2 basically. Like Chris Paul is probably gonna foul. Let's just go for it."
Chris Paul followed Giannis the whole way.
Yeah. So he probably saw that and he was like, all right, well, Giannis will just dunk on Chris Paul. And it was definitely, okay, no, I get what you mean. That was definitely really risky by him. I didn't really think about it like that. That's a good point.
And I was just thinking because he could have just dribbled out the clock or wasted as much time as possible, held on to the ball, waited for Chris Paul to foul him. So I'm just screaming, no, what are you doing? And I hate to sound like a grump, but that lob he threw to Giannis was not a good pass at all. Like Giannis had to go out of his way to grab it and slam it into the hoop. And I'm like, this was just such a bad move. But obviously it turned out amazingly for them because I got the foul too. And if you're Chris Paul, what the heck are you doing? Don't play off ball in a situation like that. You want to foul as soon as possible to stop the clock.
Yeah,
and
foul him before he even jumps. Before he even jumps.
You either run up to Drew or you foul Giannis and just like tackle him or whatever. Like literally,
Yeah,
just
just tap him, like just tap him on the side, boom,
Right.
foul before he even jumps, and then it wouldn't even be like a shooting foul. It would just be a personal foul.
And I mean, now that I think about it, Chris Paul probably can tackle Giannis, but you know, it's worth a shot.
He could get he could try. He could get the ankle.
That's NBA 101 though, and I'm shocked that wasn't going through the mind of Chris Paul, a 16-year veteran, just to foul right away to stop the clock. And
exactly.
Then he commits a terrible foul on Giannis when the ball is already in the hoop, as you said, because he could have just easily let that lob happen. And yeah, it sucks, but they're only down 3, and then they get the ball back with a chance to win or a chance to tie it. But he fouled, and then he let them have a chance to make it a 4-point game with like 15 seconds left. So just a huge error by Chris Paul again. His IQ down the stretch has not been great in these last couple of games because
he's slipping.
Literally slipping in game 4. He took a tumble and it was a turnover. And then in this game, just,
kept
mental
sliding.
lapses for him. Do you think these things are going to really affect the Suns' psyche? Because it's easy to just chalk up one game as, we should have done this differently, but oh well, it's one game. Let's just bounce back, boys. But they've literally made the same mental mistake essentially down the stretch in crunch time and 2 NBA Finals games in a row. So do you think that's going to affect them?
I mean,
like mentally, because they can do it all. We know what they can do on the court, like Chris Paul and Booker and Ayton. They're all going to put up at least 20, 30 points. But I think there's a mental aspect to this.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely gonna mess up just their entire team chemistry. Because I'm hoping no one's pointing fingers at each other. That's what I've been trying to say, David. Exactly. Suns in 7 for real though. Where's D Book been at?
Keep going.
Where's Chris Paul been at? But leading into that, like, I hope no one's pointing fingers. That's probably the worst thing they could do. I mean, they could point fingers at Chris Paul. They definitely could, but I hope there's no like chemistry issue. Like nobody's really. I mean, I doubt anyone's gonna come at Chris Paul other than maybe Devin Booker. But if they're clashing, Devin Booker and Chris Paul, then
they have no chance.
Lose. Yeah, they have no chance. Like how are they even gonna play? Like it's definitely really tough on them right now. I couldn't imagine the amount of stress they have right now. Like their backs are against the wall right now, David. Like they have nowhere to go. They have to their coach has to. I don't even know who to blame. I can't blame anybody except like Chris Paul and maybe Monty Williams. Like what can he do? Like maybe make the minutes, like give more minutes to like Cameron Johnson, maybe distribute the minutes like a little better. But it's just got to be up to their mental. Like Chris Paul, like you were saying, like Chris Paul's mental. Like he's just got to get into his, what was it, game 6 against the Clippers? Was it literally dropped? Yeah, he has to get in his game 6 mental, even game 1 and 2 mental. Like I don't know what he just needs to get back into it. Is really what I'm trying to say.
If he wants to win the championship, like this is going to be so devastating for him if he gets this far. This is literally the best chance he's going to have in his career to win a chip. And he's 2 wins away, but he's put himself in a bad spot. So as you said, you just need to literally lock in. Like honestly, I don't know how else to say it.
He just needs to lock in, and hopefully locking in will help the entire team lock in, which it seems like it has. It seems like it does happen. When Chris Paul plays well, he gets everyone else to play well. Like, I mean, that's what he's known for, getting everyone else involved in the game.
So after the and one, Giannis went to the free throw line on this play. And as he's really had troubles with his whole career with the free throws woes continue in this clutch situation. But the awareness from Giannis to corral the rebound and tip it back to Middleton, who was behind him, who grabbed it and was able to go to the line. So the Suns are able to force a miss from Giannis, because if you want anyone going to the line in that situation, it's Giannis. He misses, but they can't get the rebound, but it goes right to Giannis, who puts it to Middleton or tips it to Middleton, who is one of the better free throw shooters.
Just a blind tip. He just yeets it behind him, basically, and it just
worst case scenario.
Literally, just perfectly lands in his hands. I was like, why? Why did that have to just happen? And frustrating. Simply frustrating.
just talk about the awareness from Giannis being able to know where Chris Middleton was on the floor without looking at him.
Yeah, that was I don't think he even looked behind him for a good like
Right.
5-10 seconds, and he just knew exactly where to tip the ball, which is that just got some really good basketball IQ.
And it was risky too. I mean,
Yeah,
I literally thought Booker was going to intercept that because, the no-look tip. I'm like, what are you doing, Giannis? But it worked out. Yeah. And Middleton made 1 of 2 free throws to ice the game. Bucks win 123-119. They've won the last 3 games in the series to take the series lead for the first time, 3 games to 2. And they have a chance to win the championship in Milwaukee tomorrow night. And the Bucks' big 3 combined for 88 points. Giannis had 32, Middleton had 29, and Holiday had 27. Booker had 42, Booker had 40, and Chris Paul had 21, and Aiden had 20, but it just wasn't enough.
It was not enough.
Let's take a quick second to answer these questions. So if the Bucks win, do you think Chris Paul will ever appear in the finals again? I think no, considering all the injured players the Suns played getting to the finals. We talked about this in a prior podcast, and I think we both agreed, right, that this is literally his best chance.
This is it for him. He's not going back.
Because the 3 teams that I think are really going to be in front of the Suns next year or have a chance to be in front of Phoenix are, when fully healthy, the Lakers, the Clippers, and I would say the Nuggets, honestly. I'd put them in that mix too.
Can't forget about the Jazz either. I mean, the Jazz. Yep. Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that team, I just wish that team I wish that team had as much luck as the Bucks right now. I just want to see the Jazz. It's such like a feel-good team. I just want to see them like just be in the finals, but they got a lot of competition. So the Suns, like, this is it. This is it for them, I feel like, right now. Or for Chris Paul, sorry. This is it for Chris Paul.
For Chris Paul, for sure. So to answer your questions, Allow, I think this is it for Chris Paul. And we also debated whether he'll retire or not after the series, but, I think this is literally his last good chance at winning a title. Perfect question. So let's get into our predictions for Game 6. How do we think Game 6 is going to go tomorrow night, Carter? I'll let you go first.
Well, I'm sticking by my prediction from the beginning. Suns. I'm pretty sure I said Suns in 6, but we're saying Suns in 7. I'm still saying the Suns are going to win. I'm still saying the Suns. So I'm thinking they're going to win tomorrow. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be, I don't know. I feel like they're going to, once again, they're going to come out with some steam. Like how the Suns did. I feel like the Bucks are going to come out with some steam, but the Suns, I feel like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, just everybody with their back against the walls. I feel like they're still going to win this game. They have to. Obviously, they have to win this game, but I'm going to say the score of this game is going to end up being something like 114 to like 103 Suns.
This is so tough for me. Like, I literally don't know.
It's tough.
Because the Bucks have all the momentum and they're playing in front of their home crowd and can win a championship for the first time in 50 years or 50 plus years. And then you have Phoenix, backs against the wall. Really, if they make 2 better decisions down the stretch in games 4 and games 5, they've already won the series. It's 4-1 Suns. So
exactly.
I don't know. It's literally so tough. If I had to predict, I just don't think Giannis is going to be denied, and I think that's a bold take from me. But I think Bucks are going to win 119-109 over the Suns and complete what many people are going to consider to be an upset. I think.
Oh, that would be an upset for sure.
I don't think Giannis is going to be denied. And I don't think either Middleton or Drew Holiday won't have as good of a game as they did in Game 5. But I don't think you're going to take this away from Giannis. He's literally worked for this moment to win it in front of his home crowd.
Yeah, and their home crowd is different. I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the clips when they just pan over to like the fans that are like outside, like watching the game. Like, it's crazy. The energy in that building must be just like, must make you feel like God, basically. It must make Giannis feel like Michael Jordan.
It's going to be electric because this might be the closest they ever get to winning a title for a while too, because you got to figure Brooklyn's going to be in the way for at least one more year. And
if they don't,
Philly too.
Yeah, if injuries, hopefully, like cross your fingers, injury prone. Like if they can stay away from injuries, the Nets, then if they can't, though, if the Nets keep, like, if their injuries keep persisting, I mean, the Bucks, they could make their way back there. They really could. I mean, and especially if they somehow get better as a team, I mean, like, if they pick up a new player, if they make some moves in the offseason and make their team even better, like, that's going to be scary for the East.
All I know is this series is going to be an amazing one to win, but whoever loses is going to be heartbroken. This isn't going to be like Cavs Warriors, where a lot of people are like, yeah, they expected the Warriors to win, and like the Cavs could just go out with their heads held high because they're like, I can't believe we made it this far, and we, took a game from the Warriors super team. No, whoever loses this series is going to be heartbroken because this is just a golden opportunity for both teams to win it.
It's been a battle between both teams too. They've just put so much into this series. It's going to suck for whoever loses, but it's going to feel real nice for whoever wins.
And I hope Game 6, and if we have a Game 7, they're just as exciting as these last couple of games, because this has been a treat as an NBA fan. A solid final series. A lot of them have been kind of doozies lately, so this has been an entertaining one, and I hope that continues.
For sure.
Alrighty, everyone. So that is going to do it for this recap. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, absorb that subscribe button. There will be more of these recaps coming, more Olympic basketball content coming with me and Carter. Stay on the lookout for that as the summer progresses.
Yes, sir.
And other content too. I keep forgetting my monologue sometimes that I have to say at the end of these things, but look forward to more content coming on this channel as the months and the summer progresses and what have you. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comment section what you like, what you didn't like, what you like about us, what you don't like about us. Thank you, Carter, for doing this with me again.
Of course. Thanks
for having me. Yeah, of course. The game is tomorrow night at 9. We will probably do a recap on Wednesday or Thursday, and we will talk to you then. Alrighty, everyone. Have a good night. Take care. People.